All right, easy here for my latest partner, ExpressVPN. You're like, what the hell is that? I'll get to that. Calm down. First of all, going online without ExpressVPN is like forgetting to mute yourself on a Zoom meeting. Do you really want all of your coworkers to hear you trash talking them? Okay, so that's kind of like helping me illustrate to you what's up. Why everybody needs a VPN. Okay, so everything you do online, the shows you watch, the websites you go to, anything you do online, that gets sent to your internet service provider, including your mobile network providers. They know every single website you visit. All right? Reroute 100% of your traffic to ExpressVPN through their secure encrypted servers so your ISP cannot see your browsing history. Privacy is really big to a lot of folks, so that's why this is very, very important. ExpressVPN is the best. They hide your IP address, making it extremely difficult for third parties to track your online activity. That's important for your old pal EZ because with my setup, I can't have any compromises. My internet is so important for doing what I do that if anything affects what I do, that's trouble. That's why I use ExpressVPN. Very easy to use. You just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. Works on all of your devices too, phones, laptops, tablets, more, so you can stay private on the go. I swear by this, and my life is so much easier now that the Eric Zane Show podcast is utilizing ExpressVPN. So what you need to do is protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/Zane. That's expressvpn.com/Zane. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/Zane. All right. Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. The Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. It's like 150 degrees outside already, and I am wearing a hoodie because I got this AC right in my face. And I'm not going to lie, it makes me, I'm like freaking out cold. Not freaking out, but I'm cold. I'm cool. So there you go. It's a real toaster out there, a real pressure cooker, which those are the things you say when it's like, oh, it's hot as hell. Oh my God, we're roasted. It's a real pressure cooker. It's hot as hell. I stood in the direct sunlight at the hottest portion of the day on Saturday for 3 hours and 30 minutes straight and didn't move once and drank 2 small bottles of water. No complaints. I was impressed with me, as I always am. I was the MC at Big Dan's Dirty Donut Race. That is a gravel/road bike race in beautiful Martin, Michigan at the high school. I showed up. Give me the microphone. And I was announcing the awards. All right, first place, adults 20 to 29. Let's bring up so-and-so. Get on the podium. It was something, though, because if there's video of this, it'd be outrageous. So at this high school, there's like the football field, and I'm on the opposite side where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be on this one side where the podium is, and you announce the winners. And I thought I had a little more time, so I was rooting on a friend of mine was in that race. So I was going to see him finish, you know. And then I realized that it was time to go. I had to get over to the opposite side of the football field to announce race winners. So I go, Jesus. So I take off and I'm running like as fast as my little Armenian legs will go. And I'm actually right at about the 50-yard line running across the field. and I've got my Crocs on in like all-terrain mode with the strap on the back, so I know I'm good. But then the toe, the front of the Croc, kind of got gripped onto the grass, and it tripped me, and I went flying like I face planted, and the Croc comes flying off, and I'm like, oh my God, my glasses fall off, my glasses go one way, my phone goes the other, my Croc, I got one Croc off, I'm laying them like, Jesus, fuck, shit. So I got to throw it back on, take off running. I get over to where I need to be, and Donut Dan has announced one award, and I go, give me the mic. I got to do this. This is my job. You paid me good money to be here. Thank you. Now, but I didn't realize that he's giving out. It's pretty much like everyone who was there got a goddamn award. Holy shit. And at one point, he says, hey, can you pick up the pace a little? And I'm like, what? Because, I like, all right, third place here. Like, there's kids awards. I go, hey, high five, great job. Get up on the podium. We're going to take a picture. You're the star, And then midway, Dink, hey, okay, can you speed it up? I'm like, well, dude, you're the one who has 8,000 awards you're giving away. I am crushing it here. He almost needs like 3 stages for each, because he's got like 4 races. Now, in this race, you start pedaling, and there's donut stops. For every donut you eat, they take 5 minutes off of your time. We had one guy who, it took him like an hour to pedal, but he ate so many donuts that his time was so incredible. It took him like 1 minute. The all-time leader for the weekend, though, was one dude ate 17 donuts. We had a couple chicks eat like 13, 14, maybe 15 donuts. Wow. You had to eat at least one donut. But all in all, it was a good time. And I got out of there, and I got in the car, and I looked, and my farmer's tent, like, look at this. You can kind of see it, make it out. Like, my neck and face are brown, and my upper body below the neck is white. Look at that. I don't know if it's... Yeah, okay, it does it justice a little bit. God, I got an old man neck. That's gross. Cover up easy. All right. Father's Day. And then I was busy as hell because Saturday comes and goes. And then we go off to a graduation party. And I just love open houses because the food. I hadn't eaten all day, like literally all day. I woke up. I did 3.5 hours at the thing. And then I come home. Pooh Bear and I get cleaned up. We go to a graduation party. They got awesome food. Yes, love it. Okay, fantastic. Then we go to Meijer. We got to get all the ingredients for the Father's Day shish kebab event the next day, yesterday. Okay, so I get all this food prep. I've made 3 marinades. Again, I'll leave the recipe in the show notes for the Eric Zane Show podcast. Slaughter the Turks Shish Kebab Festival. Now, on the recipe, it'll say marinate them for 2 hours. Do not marinate them for 2 hours. Marinate them for 12 hours. And, okay, so I've got the beef, I've got chicken, and I've got shrimp. Now, in the past, when I've done this, I have people do their skewers and hand it to me, and then I'll cook it. But that's a bad idea because, it might take longer to cook one meat than the other. Like the chicken might take longer than the beef or whatever. And the shrimp for sure you can't. So I had done that in the past, and it sucked. So I was planning on doing it again. But Charity Scam Mike says, don't take everyone's order. just put all of the meat onto the skewers, as many skewers as it takes, all of the chicken onto all the skewers, and then the vegetables. Cook. Shrimp is last because it cooks so fast, and then just put it all in a big ass, like, a baking dish, and then people will just grab what they want. Then it's cooked perfectly, and there's no stress. I go, Jesus, fuck. I've been making this for years. Why are you just saying this now? Son of a bitch. I go, that's a fantastic idea. I'm glad. I feel so stupid for nothing. He goes, no. I go, well, come help me. So he puts all the beef onto one skewer. Well, two. And just plop it on there. Indirect heat. It's same thing. Then chicken, good to go. Veggies, fantastic. My God. Got it all done. Ate like kings. Fantastic. While I was there, Pooh Bear gave me a Father's Day gift. I guess her and Madison and Jackie or whoever, I don't know. I guess they pooled their money because they got me one of these Blackstone grill tops. It's like a big ass griddle that like everybody loves these things, these Blackstones. And I go, oh, this is fantastic. And Charity Scam Mike sees it and goes, oh my God. I go, what? He goes, you're going to hate your life. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? Actually, he didn't tell me this out in front of everybody. He like bent my ear when no one was. He goes, those things they're a lot of work. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, you got to like season them so that the steel is just right for cooking. And then you got to season them after you use it. And then cleaning them is a pain in the ass. And you got to buy all this. Make sure you buy the cover for it. And I'm like, don't tell me these things. This will be perfect for up north. So that was good. I also got another gift that I don't want to describe it to you. I want to show it to you. But like an asshole, after I started the show, I realized I didn't have it with me. So that's got to wait till tomorrow. Okay? I'll do that. But it was great seeing Dad and everybody that was there. Had a good time. Father's Day. But it kind of went in the shitter afterwards because, oh boy, I had been having problems because we took the camper. Because I had Eric, Diana, Jackie, Justin, Madison, Jackie's dog, Cece, and we didn't want to be all packed into a car, you know. As Nick says, Blackstones are great, way easier than scrubbing a bunch of pans. I thought so. I'm not going to let him. He's an idiot. Macon says, did you bring any camper cigs? No. What's wrong with you? So, you know, it's not, yesterday was when the weather started to turn to the sweltering heat that we have right now. And it's really, really cooking. But we're in the shade, and I got the generator on the thing, so it's staying nice and cool in there. So, you know, when we're getting ready to leave, we can just jump right into a nice, cool camper. It'll be great, no problem. But I had been having issues because you got two things on the camper. You're sitting there behind the wheel, and it's like a car, and you turn on the AC, and it's blasting on you. And then since it's so damn hot, you kick on the generator, and you run the AC so that the whole thing doesn't get hot, so that your passengers don't, you know, so that they're not sweltering. So, but the AC in the dash while I'm driving, it had malfunctioned recently. And I took it into the place. They go, blew a fuse. No big deal. I go, okay, great. So they blew it, they replaced it, and then they said, okay, and they, now I didn't even know where the fuses were located on this thing, but they said, in case it blows again, this is where you go. Here's a replacement fuse. I'm like, well, that's weird. First of all, why did it blow in the first place? It's the first time it's ever done that. Second of all, you're giving me a replacement fuse. Now, I asked for it, but still, I did that more like to, hey, just in case. But I didn't really think it was going to go again, you know? Sure as shit. We're getting ready to leave. I start the fucking thing up. I turn the AC on full. Nothing. I'm like, oh, no. So I pop the cover off where the fuses are. I get the fuse that they gave me just in case. And I pull the other one out, put the new one in. Pew, it blows. Now I'm like, fucked. Shit. All right. Well, no problem. We'll get home. And I got the generator on, so the AC is blowing inside of the unit, which is, you know, it'll be a little bit uncomfortable in the front because the sun's beaming in from the west, but not the end of the world. But then I'm driving, and all of a sudden I notice that there's sweat rolling off of my fucking face, like when the guy is flying the plane in the movie Airplane. Horrible reference. A few of you might get it, but probably not a lot of you. I'm like, why the fuck am I so hot? And then I realize I'm falling asleep. So I said to Pooper, I go, hey, can you make me a cup of coffee? She plugs coffee maker in. She goes, there's no power. I go, holy shit, that explains the generator's off. Well, turn the generator on. I don't know why the fuck it went off. She tries to turn it on, won't go on. I'm like, what the fuck? So now we have no AC inside of this thing. It's hotter than a cattle truck. I go in the dogs like, I go, bust open the windows fast before we die. So all the windows are open, and there's like a curtain to my left, you know, for the window. So when you pull over, you can put the curtains over. It blows right into my face. I'm blind. I'm like, God damn it. Somebody tie this fucking curtain. So this is all gone to shit in a matter of moments. What was a great day is now getting more complex by the minute. So we kind of like muscle through an hour of travel. I pull over at like a truck stop. Jesus Christ, got to take a break. Try to start the generator. It's like it won't work. I'm like, what the fuck? This has never given me a problem before. This is horrible. So then I go into the truck stop. I got two problems. Two ACs are out. In dash, where I'm driving, and in the back of the rig. So I'm like, son of a bitch. So I go and I buy a whole thing of fuses. Now, the last time I pulled the fuse out at my dad's house, I used a pair of his pliers, and I didn't take them with me. So I go, fuck it. I got strong fingers. So I reach into where the fuse is, and I try to pull it out, and I'm so fucking weak, I can't pull it out. It's like in there. I need a pair of needle nose. So I go marching back in the goddamn truck stop. I go, lady, you got needle nose? She goes, yeah, right there. Get the needle nose. Pay $12 for the needle nose. I was actually impressed at the cost. Typically, you go to a truck stop, you need a tool. Like a pair of needle nose, I thought that was going to cost me at least $700 or $800. Like, holy shit. Get the needle nose. Yank the old fuse. Put in the new fuse. Start the rig. It works. It works. AC blasting on me. All right, one problem solved. But still, it's not solved. That fuse should not be blowing. Or, yeah, you know, like going out. Jeremy says, I've got strong fingers. Is that from all the finger blasting you do? No, I don't finger blast. So now I'm like, God damn it. Bring the thing home. We limp to the finish line. Today I start that generator. Starts right up, runs fine. But there's a problem, okay? It shouldn't be doing that. Those things, that's a Cummins generator. It's like they invented generators. Something's amiss. So I call the RV place. They go, okay, it's under warranty. Call. These are the people that fix it. So I call this guy, picks it up. This is just an hour ago. I go, hey, so he goes, what's going on? I go, well, yeah. So I start telling him the same thing I just told you, but a very much abridged Reader's Digest version with less swearing. And like mid-word, the phone, beep, beep, beep. I look, call failed. I'm like, what the fuck? Call back. Start, same story. Same thing. Call drops. I'm like, what the fuck? I call him back. He goes, Eric. I go, yeah. He goes, okay, just bring it in. Just bring it in. We'll get it fixed. If before the call drops out on us, just bring it in. I go, all right, buddy. No problem. Shit. Megan says Bruce, who used to work with us, has an RV repair company there in Jenison for the summer. Nice. That is great to know. That is great to know. I'm going to take it over to these guys, though, just because of the warranty thing. I'm sure that would still work. Yes, excuse me while I stick my finger in my ear, but it's itching. So that's kind of like put a weird bow at the end of my Father's Day, but no big deal. No big deal. We have a Big Fraud Wednesday planned, ladies and gentlemen. This week, Ben and I will be reviewing current episodes of the beloved Free Beer and Hot Wings show on another edition of Who Are These Free Beers? It happens Wednesday. You can check it out live on Patreon. After that, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast featuring another 1 minute of the Bomity podcast with our pal Ben Glaze. Seabear 495 needs some advice. Easy. Would you train your replacement if you were in my situation, knowing that after that they are going to fire you? All right. Well, look at it this way. Based on the information I know now, Eric Zane 10 years ago would say, sabotage that place. Do whatever you have to do to burn every bridge that there is. That's probably where I would go. And while that may be more fun for you, Seabear 495, and might be more satisfying, probably is not going to help you in the long run. Nick says, be such an asshole that the trainee quits. Maureen reminds us that if you quit the job, you do not get unemployment. Let me just say this. These are all good points. Well, not all of them. Be such an asshole that the trainee quits is not a good point. And Cole saying quit now is not a good point. Nor is ZZ from 10 years ago a good point. I think you take your time, as much time as you can, in training this person. In the meantime, you being a good soldier, if this is true that you will get fired, will ensure that you can get unemployment. Megan says train him wrong. Don't listen to that either, please. Because at the end of the day, if you play your cards right, you can get a solid reference with these people. And maybe some type of severance that they were planning on giving you, but if you're an asshole, they wouldn't do that. There's a million terrible reasons, a million wrong reasons why. Wait a minute. There's a million good reasons why you should be a good soldier and do this, my friend. All right? Also, the job may have resources at your disposal, office equipment, things like that, that might help you in getting prepared for your next endeavor. Make sure that you've got all your contacts from your email. I'm not sure what it is that you do, if this is factory work or what. But, yeah, maybe also maybe mending a fence in some way, in as casual a way as possible to ensure. I'm looking out for you 2 steps down the road. All right? Megan says, but if you're getting fired, do they really want a reference from them? Well, at the end of the day, you don't want holes in your resume. Again, I don't know all of your situation here, but you asked my opinion, and That's what I think. That's what I think is going on. I don't think it would behoove you to do this poorly. Kenney with an idea. Is this the start of a new Dear Meathead Jr. segment? I've got a suggestion from Rob. It says upper decker first, then pour the concrete in the toilets. Maureen writes, I refused to quit and made my bitch boss fire me, and she fought my unemployment. But I won. Take that, bitch. Need to remind you, folks, that at 11 a.m. today, I have the staff meeting for the radio station. So there will be an act 2 of today's podcast. All right. Let's see. Travel issues. I covered that. Had a good time for Father's Day. We did have one reminder of why traveling, Pooh Bear, and both daughters is a horrible, horrible plan. Last year, we traveled in the camper to New York City, stayed at an RV park right in Jersey City, and then we saw the sights for 7 to 10 days. It was great. However, what took place was a lot of fights between these two. So much so that they agreed that they would not go on trips together anymore. I had nothing to do with it. I just kept my mouth shut. So they're not, Jackie and Justin and their dog are going with Pooh Bear and EZ to Maine. And then next year, it's Madison's turn. Because yesterday, even just the day, they start fighting. Over what? I don't know. I think I remember. I was driving, and I'm doing my usual 55 to 60 miles an hour. I've got no one in front of me. I'm traveling straight. And I want to text the guy who I bought the RV from if he's got any tips to get this thing fixed. So I text him. I go, yo, and by the way, I didn't mention this, but this is a brand new RV. This is like a 2020. I gave the old one away. I traded it in at the camper show. This is a brand new. This has like less than 1,000 miles on it. I'm the first owner of this fucking thing. That's what made this so goddamn frustrating, is that it's brand fucking new. How the fuck can this possibly be happening? You know, the last one was starting to fall apart, and I was like, fuck it. Traded it. So anyway, where was I? The grill. Okay, I'm driving, and I'm texting the guy who I bought it off of at the dealer, and I'm like, dude, this thing is this fucked. What the fuck is going on here? I pay for this goddamn thing, and here I am sweltering my dick off. It still smells like a new car, and son of a bitch. You know what it smells like? New car and my balls. Because I'm sweating. Anyway, Madison starts freaking out because I'm texting. I go, I know. I'm sorry. She does not like that at all. She's, you were rolling in a death trap, and she's really, really. I'm like, easy, relax, it's gonna be okay. So of course I put the phone down. I'm just 2 hands on the wheel trying it. She's yelling at me. Well, Jackie's like, stop, enough, and that's all it took. And then boom, they're like a couple of rams fighting. Fucking terrible. Question that was asked, and it's a good question. Why doesn't your son and his family ever go with you guys? I don't know. Last year, Jim went with us to my dad's house. And this year, I invited him. I invited them. And he goes, awesome. Yeah, okay, sounds good. And then the day before, I go, hey, is this cool? I never heard back from you. He goes, oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm going to be doing chores all Sunday. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't ever say anything. I'm not the one. I'm either like, you're going to go or you're not. I don't ask. I try not to ask too many questions. Now, I didn't ask a question other than, are you going to go? And I don't care what the reason is. It's totally fine. I'm not that guy. I need to know. But he writes, oh, yeah, I'm big chore day Sunday. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's no fucking way that's true. But if you ask him what color is the sky, he's going to tell you pink, even though it's blue. So, again, I don't care what his excuse is. It's fine. I don't mind. But then on Facebook, there's pictures posted of him hanging out with his father-in-law. So I'm like, whatever. Doesn't even bother me. I wish he would have just said, oh, I'm going over to my father-in-law's. I would have been, oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I know you were with us last year, so that's totally understandable, reasonable. You don't need to like make up a fucking fairy tale. You don't need to concoct some scenario to try to protect me. Just tell me the goddamn truth. This has been the number one thing that has always prevailed in my relationship with my son. Ask him anything. Anything. And you might find out shortly after that the answer you get is 0% accurate. And it doesn't, I swear to God, it doesn't even annoy me anymore. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't even bother me. Don't care. Maize and Blue, the Planetary System School Project. Blue State Rob says he's the George Santos of the family. Oh, that's a great reference. By the way, Rob sent me a story that is really good. It's an interesting story. It's horrible in scope, but I got it, and I what I discovered that is in the College World Series. And Rob, I don't know if you did all the research on this. I don't know why I did, but I did. At the College World Series, Florida is playing Texas A&M. And then all of a sudden, two Texas A&M fans come and they're leaning like over the rail that separates the fans, like the stands from the field. And they're kind of like trying to angle their heads so that the coach, the manager of the Florida Hurricanes Florida Hurricanes baseball team will hear them. And they're like, you fucking asshole. You killed kids. You kill people. You kill people. And everybody's like, what? What's going on? What is that all about? And what did I say? Florida Hurricanes? Miami Hurricanes. Sorry. No, it was the Florida Gators. Florida Gators baseball team. I'm fucking this up already, but it doesn't matter. Florida Gators. So they're wondering, why are those Texas A&M fans? I mean, typically if you're going to heckle someone, you'd be like, you guys stink, or I don't know, whatever. But this was like weird. They're looking at the manager of the Florida Gators baseball team and calling them, saying, "You've killed people." Well, they ended up throwing these fans out. And Rob wrote, "Yeah, these guys are the assholes of the day, man." And I'm like, yeah, that sure does sound like it. But then I'm like, why? What's going on? Well, what had happened was a couple years ago, the 11-year-old bat boy for the Florida Gators and his brother were minding their own business in the house. Now, they had no idea, but at the time, their dad had just gotten word. He had just figured out that his wife was having an affair. And this guy was upset, as you could imagine. It's a tale as old as time. Where it takes a wildly horrible, nightmarish turn is he then goes, gets a gun, and the two kids are sitting there playing video games in the room. The guy walks in and they go, "Hey, Dad, how are you?" He goes, "Hey, I'm doing pretty good." Bam, bam. He shoots them both dead. And then he pours gas all in the house, lights a match, shoots himself in the head. This happened. It's the bat boy for the baseball team. The two Texas A&M fans that were yelling that to the Florida Gators coach, the coach was having an affair with that dude's wife. The wife tells the husband, he kills the kids, lights the house on fire, kills himself. 2 years later, that chick is married to the manager of the Florida Gators fucking baseball team. Holy shit. So when Rob sent that, I wasn't sure because I didn't know anything of this story. I just heard that what you sent me. But that's why those guys were screaming at the manager of the baseball team, saying, "Yeah, you killed people." Which, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. I would say that manager and Mrs. Dead Kid is, there's definitely some responsibility there. I mean, ultimately, if your wife's cheating on you and you go and fucking kill your kids, there's no doubt it's the fault of that crazy dad. He was obviously a lunatic. So you got this dude who's a fucking, at least this is in my mind what's happening. He was a psychopath and probably abused the wife. All right? Either emotionally, mentally, physically, who the fuck knows? And then she confides in baseball manager. The rest is history. Dad finds out about it. Hubby finds out about it. Goes even more crazy. Then that happens. And then all right. That is an absolute nightmare scenario. My God. Maureen says, I guess that's how you hurt a woman most deeply. Kill her kids. Blue State Rob says, yeah, I had a hard time finding the story that explained the love triangle, but that is it. Then he writes, I still respect that guy more than Greg. Jesus. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know any real sides of this story. All I know is what happened are the facts. Kenney writes, people who cheat destroy tons of things that they don't realize. I don't know though. I think that you gotta learn everything because, like for example, let's just say in a hypothetical, mom of dead kids, Mrs. Dead Kid. What if she's getting abused and baseball coach is, trying to talk her through it, and then one thing leads to another, and then, now she's like, oh, finally someone who's listening to me. That happens all the time. We don't know. Or maybe it wasn't like that. Maybe it was much more sinister. And then dad had a screw loose that she didn't know about. We don't know. But you're right. I mean, had she ultimately just ended the relationship or tried to figure it out, it's still fucked up. This is so fucked up. But I think the whole part about Mrs. Dead Kid, Mommy Dead Kid, marrying Florida coach, I don't know, man. I don't know how you pick up the pieces after your children are pass away like that, are murdered brutally. How do you do anything, knowing the fact that, I mean, he murdered the kids because you were having an affair with that guy? I'm kind of with the hecklers who were giving shit to a baseball coach. I can understand why maybe they know somebody. Texas A&M fans heckled Coach Kevin O'Sullivan over affair. Witnesses share details. I don't know why this is happening here. I have a feeling like I'm about to get some type of virus if I click on the story anymore. Anyway, that's why it all went down. When you sent it to me, I was like, I don't know if he's aware of what is happening in the story. Rebecca says, I would be in a padded room. Yeah. I don't even like to think about it. All right. Thank you to everybody who's watching this show on Facebook, X, and YouTube. It's time to kick you out, though. You've been a great audience, as always. The rest of the show is on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. That's where you need to be to get the show in its entirety. Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. 7 days free when you sign up. Put in a payment form. Cancel it right after. You still get the 7 days. You won't be charged. Then if you want to sign up again because you like what you saw, well, then just sign up again, and then off you go. $5 or $10 a month. Good to go. The audio version of what you're hearing right now is available wherever you download shows shortly after I complete this podcast. I appreciate you so much. Follow me on all my platforms. That helps. I know this is a lot, but every little bit helps. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, support the sponsors. Thank you to all of them. All right, so if you're watching on Facebook, X, and YouTube, I'm going to kick you out. Follow me on Twitch. And, of course, Facebook, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. Blue State Rob says, safe to say that Cole, who I guess is divorced, and Kenney reacted better than Mr. Dead Kid. Oh, yeah. Of course. Because they're alive. And thank God. Thank God. Nothing gets in the way of Kenney and his kids. He'll fucking cut a bitch if they do anything to hurt his kids. That I know. You want to see a big dude move fast? Fuck with Kenney's kids. He'll fucking cut you. By the way, I got a story that I'm going to get to a little later on. An update on Kenney's neighbor who blew up his house or her house. I don't know. We'll get to it in a second. We'll unpack the details. On Friday morning, Kenney woke up, and all he wanted to do was roll out of bed and start his day. And then, like a couple doors down, the duplex exploded. One of those, the home went up in a billion pieces. And we're like, oh, my God, holy shit. What the fuck is going on? So Kenney ran out, he said. And then he had to amend it that he hustled out. And took pics. It was incredible. It was man on the street shit. He was there. He was like a news junkie. Big Fraud News. Whatever happened to Big Fraud News Network? I think that was a Ryan thing. I think he ran out of gas. Either that or he's just incredibly busy, which is completely understandable. I have an update on that story. We suggested that Kenney's neighbor attempted to kill him or herself after a too long-winded of a conversation with Kenney. Megan asks, is Ryan still here? Look, I wish I could answer that. I can only go by with what's in front of my face. I wish I had the time to, check on everybody. I did, however, check on Brandis, who I believe Brandis is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Young lady, and I hadn't seen her name on here, and I go, hey, what's going on? And a couple things going on. Nothing she can't handle. She's pretty tough. But the time change might have messed her up. The fact that I started the podcast at 10 a.m. might have messed with her a little. She said something like that. She said she'll be back. Not to worry. All right. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, bringing you Facebook and Twitch. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Thanks to Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance. I suggest it's anything. He can do any type of insurance. You want to go to buyinsurancehere.com. Two most important, healthcare, which you may have from your boss, but your spouse may not. You can get insurance through the marketplace. Frank will help you out with that. Not to mention Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. They take care of me as well. 616-532-6600. If you need any repairs to your regular combustion car, motor, any part of the car, they can help you. Hybrids, EVs, they are the best. They have early bird drop-off, late bird pickup, and, of course, a loaner car for you if you need one. So you don't have to worry about somebody carting you all around. 616-532-6600. I talked to an absolute legend on Friday. That would be Joe Martinez, one of my favorite people on the planet. 616-516-8579. This is a bad, bad week. If your AC goes out, I hope you make it. If you did not get the tune-up ahead of time, God damn it, what are you doing? Reminds me, I owe him money. A&E. Pay A&E. Sorry. 616-516-8579. But if it does go out, he'll show up there and fix it for you. 616-516-8579. If you ever lose track of who my sponsors are, who is that? Because, not everybody listens super intently. Just reach out to me. I don't care how you reach me. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I respond to everything, and I can point you in the right direction and break the ice for you on any one of my sponsors. I am out of time on Act 1 of the podcast. Okay? Act 2, after the staff meeting. So until then, I'll talk to you on this really, really warm day today here in West Michigan. I will join back with you in just a bit. Thanks so much for checking this out, and I'll be back. Hey! Yes! Back again. Good staff meeting. Everybody seemed to be in good spirits. Yes. So here we go. In Kenney's neck of the woods, he sent me the story that the house exploded just a couple doors down. It shakes up the neighborhood, the whole thing. Duplex, ladies on one side, she's taking a walk, and then on the other side that exploded of the duplex, lady's laying in the rubble. I guess she's gonna live. But let's get into this story. I mean, now they're as time has passed, now they're saying that it was an intentional home explosion. Kenney right away thought it was the lady who lived in the other duplex. She was out taking a walk. Anyway, this is what they said as the story was starting to develop, just as the weekend was getting started.
That breaking news, the TBI now saying a home explosion that injured a woman in Gallatin this morning appears to have been intentional. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. This is a look at the damage from Sky 5, and it just really puts it in perspective.
I just realized that half of that, you probably didn't even hear that. Let me do that whole thing again. Hold on, I got to check to see the messages that probably say, we can't hear anything, EZ. Let me do that all again. Oh, you did hear it. Good. Anyway, I'm going to start that again.
Channel 5 at 6.
That breaking news, the TBI now saying a home explosion that injured a woman in Gallatin this morning appears to have been intentional. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. This is a look at the damage from Sky 5, and it just really puts it in perspective to how scary.
So that's massive. Kenney, why didn't you, when Sky 5 was up there, why didn't you go get in the shot? Can you imagine how hilarious this home explosion would be if you were in the Sky 5 shot?
This must have been. News Channel 5's Jason Lamb went to the neighborhood where several homes are impacted.
Folks from several different agencies.
Impacted just like Megan's colon the other day.
Including the TBI and ATF are out here in Gallatin trying to figure out why this home exploded this morning. An awfully scary experience for dozens of neighbors around here.
So Mima was in the kitchen doing something, and we heard a giant boom.
Lila and Michael Roberts.
We're brother sister.
Okay, these two are pretty cool, I have to admit. Look at my man. He's got the junior fire helmet hat on. They both got the stickers that say they're junior firefighters. And she's pretty cool. I like this kid.
Kitchen doing something, and we heard a giant boom.
Lila and Michael Roberts.
We're brother sister.
Were two of the first to react.
I'm still panicking because literally it's scary for a child.
Oh, this kid is great.
I was in my kitchen making my coffee, and I heard this kaboom.
Glasses right
she's country.
there, right there, right there. That is fell from up there. It's broke everywhere.
She's brilliant. I love her. She's great.
Investigators say the person who was inside this home was taken to the hospital with burns over 30% of her body.
I hope she is okay.
They said she was talking, so hopefully she's okay.
Thankfully, investigators say she was up, alert, and talking with medics.
How?
It's where all the flowers are
This is the lady who lives next door. She was out taking a walk.
at.
Brenda Strong.
There's her door. over here.
Lives right next door.
My bedrooms are tore up, so there goes my bedroom suits. One of them's 62 years old that my dad bought when I was born, and I bought one 30 years ago.
So the lady next door is all blown to bits, and she's talking about whatever it is that she lost, her furniture.
But after seeing what's
Did she say bedroom suits?
left of her home, our photojournalist Dan Blummel reached out and told her what we all were thinking.
I'm glad you're okay.
I am too. This is a shock. It's really, truly a shock, but I'm lucky to be alive.
Jason Lamb, News Channel 5.
It's remarkable. Thanks, Jason. Again, the TBI now saying that home explosion in Gallatin appears to have been intentional. Of course, we have a lot of questions. We're going to stay on top of this story and bring you more information as we learn.
I can't believe just the massive spread of the debris. Shows you how powerful it was.
Yeah, I can see why neighbors are just
shaken
really
up.
shocked. Yeah.
News Channel.
So, intentional, and that has Kenney playing the jump to conclusions game. Before we get to that, Tyler writes, sources tell us that first responders were temporarily sidetracked when an onlooker suffered a back injury while hustling over to investigate. Kenney says, I don't live that close, man. 0.4 miles away. You see, this is another example of Kenney. He does this all the time. Whenever I'm like telling a joke or a story, he's always got to kind of like, well, no, it didn't quite go that way. No way. It's like, just shut up. You don't let the details, you don't let the facts get in the way of a great story. Never, ever are you to do that. This is what you need to do when I'm telling a story. Shut up and enjoy it. Laugh. Who gives a fuck if 98% of what I say is inaccurate or hyperbole or a joke? This is all you got to do. Ha ha ha. That's all you got to do. You don't need to say, you don't need to do. Just shh. You make my life difficult. Blue State Rob says, this sounds like Kristen Megan's Kelly kid, only less brainwashed. Not at all. That kid is such a little retard. Now, Kenney is so suspicious of that lady who went for the walk. Like he's flat out blaming her. He writes, so it was a duplex. I think the lady on the one side was taking her walk. I get the feeling she set it all up. Wonder if she actually hated her neighbor that much. Wow. All right. I guess that's possible. Then he follows that up with, if they believe it was intentional, and if it was Brenda's half that the explosion originated from, I still can't find whether it was or not, then isn't this lady going to be in handcuffs very soon? So that line right there, the suggestion, Brenda's house was not nearly as damaged, her half of the duplex, than the one that was. So I don't know how you could explain that Brenda's half that the explosion originated from. I don't know. I guess it's possible that Brenda blew up the place, but wouldn't that mean that she would have to go into the lady whose house blew up and turn on the gas and then light a match? Well, it wouldn't work. She'd get blown up with it. It's not like, you know what I mean? I don't think she's a criminal mastermind. I think she seems, if she is, she's a good actress. Kenney seems to think that that lady is the criminal mastermind.
From the scene of a home explosion that's left debris scattered across this Gallatin neighborhood.
I started crying after I got up here close.
This is the lady. This is the lady that Kenney thinks blew up the house.
Linda Strong lives on the other half of the duplex that blew up.
I had been walking maybe an hour, and I heard an explosion, and I thought, oh, where is that?
She took her morning walk 30 minutes earlier because of the heat. Otherwise, she'd have been home.
There's a lot of damage. My furniture, my
This is probably the weirdest part.
child's baby pictures, everything.
Hey, who gives a fuck about that? Your neighbor's blown to bits.
My family pictures.
Oh. Okay, you're the victim.
That's what I'm worried about.
No, yeah, obvious. Okay, that's the first thing that I think indicates that she's a criminal mastermind and she did this. Okay, she has no care for her neighbor whatsoever. No mention of her neighbor.
Tonight, the neighborhood's concern is with the woman inside the home. Firefighters say she was badly burned.
I like how she goes, that's what I'm concerned about.
What I'm worried about.
I'm worried about pictures. And then the reporter goes, yeah, well, everyone else is worried about the woman who got blown up.
Tonight, the neighborhood's concern is with the woman inside the home.
Except for that one bitch that we just heard.
Firefighters say she was badly burned. Caution tape keeps neighbors.
All right. Well, I guess it's possible. But, so, maybe she's a crazy old bitch. I would need to know, like, if this unravels, how she pulled it off. Kenney goes, exactly. I'm just a Chris. That's Chris K. Says criminal mastermind Brenda goes on terroristic rampage tonight on Dateline. Where do you see for sure that it wasn't her half? I haven't seen that, and I've checked out every news story, man. Well, I mean, I know that, like, the one half of the building is blown to bits, and her half is not. So, I mean, does that would mean that the larger explosion was in her half of the duplex? Kenney says she Googled how gas home explosions happen, moved all of her pictures to storage units, set it all up to explode, and left for a walk an hour earlier, and has no concern for the woman in the hospital. Yeah, I don't know about any of that, Kenney. Jeremy, he says, I'm starting to side with Kenney. She definitely did it. Tyler says, old lady, quote, I'm really worried I can't find my 8-inch Latin lover that was on my nightstand. Kenney says nobody has said with 100% certainty which specific side exploded. Yeah, that's true. So if the side that exploded is Brenda's side, let's say Brenda blew up her own place in hopes that the neighbor would die. I don't know for sure how to blow up a home, but I would think that it is possible for her to just leave a fucking Okay, light up the Yankee candle, turn on the gas, leave. House fills with gas. When the mixture is right, it ignites, it explodes. Boom. So, did Brenda's house blow up, or did the neighbor's house blow up? Kenney says, see, you're coming around. Okay. The TBI is going to get to the bottom of this quickly. This is one of those news stories that you put a pin in. Just like Kent Trail's bike asshole. Newshound Kenney says, I'm anxiously awaiting updates. Can you do me this favor? Go take a walk today over there. And here's what you say. You get out your phone, you go to the note taker, and you hit record. Say, Kenney Hinson, Big Fraud News. Some are speculating with the information that the home was intentionally exploded, that possibly the neighbor could have had something to do with it. What are your thoughts on that? You know, just go ahead and get us some prime man on the street reports. I want you to bang on the neighbors' doors. Okay? A winning news team has someone that's going to go out and do these things. Chris says, is it bad when Tennessee's top law enforcement agency has the same acronym as traumatic brain injury? You know, I wouldn't have thought of that in a million years. That's fantastic. Jeremy suggests, hi, Kenny. Hi, Kenny, amateur news enthusiast here. No, you can't do that. You got to say Kenney Hinson, Big Fraud News, reporting on the intentionally set explosion. Tyler says, Kenny, you need to make an ID badge for yourself with your name, picture, and Big Fraud News Network on it. Start asking questions. Get to the bottom of this shit, man. It's your big chance. You've always wanted to be a news correspondent. I know this. All right. Here's the latest bit of shit going on surrounding Caitlin Clark. Here's all I know. 1, the WNBA is not that great of a watch. I've tried. I'm not like being some guys sports rule. No, not at all. I talked about this recently. In fact, ladies softball, Hudsonville won over the weekend. They won that tournament I was telling you about. I had Dave Beamer, the guy with the deep voice on Patreon. His daughter hit 3 home runs in the game. They played in the finals against Lake Orion, where Hot Wings went to school. And Hudsonville won that game. Shut them out. They won the state title. I love ladies softball. There is no men's softball. It's just softball. Well, anyway, I'm not a fan of the WNBA, but there's been a lot of buzz since Caitlin Clark entered the league. I am of the belief that every year there's great basketball players that enter the WNBA, female basketball players. Though it's not my cup of tea to watch, there's still some outstanding talent that are in the league. And nobody gives a shit about when anybody else comes into the league because they're not white chicks. That's what I believe. The only reason why anybody gives a fuck about Caitlin Clark is because she's a white chick. That's why it's such a big story. So she comes into the league, and there's a couple times when players would kick her ass or shove her or something like that. And I don't think they're shoving her for any other reason other than competition. And she herself says, I don't give a shit. I don't care if anybody shoves me. That doesn't matter. I'm here to, come on, let's play ball. I'm a tough chick. And she is. She's fucking, they're all tough as nails. So there's this other rookie named Angel Reese from LSU. And they've gone head-to-head a few times and back in college. They've played once before earlier this year. I don't even know who these fucking teams are that they play for. It doesn't fucking matter. Well, Clark goes to drive the lane the other day, and Reese fouls her hard. And she gets called for a flagrant. Watch this. This is like a Rick Mahorn special. This foul is hard. Hits her in the fucking head. It's great. Watch this.
She was up for 6th player.
Reese is the one in the middle. She's tall. Tall girl. Got the one leg spandex, which I think is hot. Clark is right here, 22. She's going to get it. She's going to drive the lane, and Reese is going to hit her across the head.
Last year, I mentioned that she finished third in the voting last season.
Watch Reese. Boom. Okay, she hit her right in the head.
3 Sky.
Watch this.
The F2 definition would be
She just said, fuck no, and that's a hard foul. Wow.
Necessary and excessive.
So they upgraded that personal to a flagrant 1, which is, if you go to a flagrant 2, I think you're ejected.
After review, the call has been upgraded to a flagrant 1. We have follow through, impact, unnecessary contact to the head.
The F2 definition would be unnecessary.
You hit the shit out of her. Now, this happens every single night in the NBA. Every night, somebody gets a hard foul. Is it right? No. Should they be punished? Of course, she was. But that does happen. All right? Maureen says, that's bullshit. She's going to hurt someone. I can't stand Caitlin Clark. Why can't you stand Caitlin Clark? What's there to not like about Caitlin Clark? Anyway, no big deal. Girls can play hard. If boys can play hard, girls can play hard. They play hard. It happens. End of story. What I think is interesting is how everybody's coming out of the woodwork and talking about it. This, that, and the other thing. And it's fucking nuts. Like, this piece of shit, Matt Leinart. He used to be a quarterback for fucking USC and went into the pros. He's a big, huge pile of shit. Now I guess he's a sports commentator. Angel Reese should be suspended, period. Not good for the game. Okay. Does that mean that I think it's great for the game, first of all. You know, if there is something physical that happens in a game, I think that they should be punished appropriately, and she was. But the idea that Matt Leinart, a bust quarterback in football, is discussing what is good or bad for women's basketball is fucking ridiculous. Anything that makes people talk about women's basketball is good for the game. Don't give me this, it's bad. Girls can't hit each other like that. Oh, no. This is so bad for women's sports. Fuck that shit. They can bang with the best of them. I love that. I grew up watching the Detroit Pistons bad boys. You try that shit and goddamn James Edwards is there, he's going to fucking bash your face in. Bill Laimbeer, are you fucking kidding me? If that fucking piece of shit Larry Bird tried to drive the lane, Bill Laimbeer is going to rearrange his fucking face. And we loved it. So don't say, oh my God, the girls are playing so physical. Oh my God, this is so bad. We need to be just fundamental bounce passes and shit like that. This is fucking terrible. Shut the fuck up. The fuck do you think you are? She's tough. She's a tough ass bitch. That's who you want playing the goddamn game. If someone comes in and drives a lane, especially Caitlin Clark, you hit her. That's what you do. It's a contact sport. Jeremy says this is going to keep happening until someone on her team does something. Someone needs to go Dennis Rodman on the other team and beat some ass. Fuck yes. Yeah, just a little titty punch right there. Oh, my God. Tell you what, If that shit happens, then I'll start to watch even more. I don't watch it all now, but I mean, I would be interested more. So don't tell me it's bad for the game, dick. It's perfect for the game. Who the fuck are you, Matt Leinart? Fuck off. I'm all for Angel Reese, or anybody for that matter, playing hard. It's ridiculous. This is crazy because, to me, there's two very interesting stories that are going on right now. That one is interesting because of that. Honestly, had the foul happened and then nobody spouted off, I probably wouldn't have said anything because who gives a shit? It's a hard foul in a game that's a contact sport. Who gives a fuck? But it's when people are like, oh no, I don't like this. This isn't good for the game. That shit. Shut up. Another ladies' sport story that I want to get into. I found this to be, when it was unfolding, however many years ago that it was, or months ago, the story of the mediocre dude swimmer, born a dude, I don't know what the previous name was, now known as Leah Thomas, the woman, transgender female. Now, as you know, if a person is born a dude and they don't feel comfortable, I know a lot of people like this, not just Ash. I got a pal in Nashville named Jeremy who's born a dude and wants to be a woman. I talk to him all the time. I love Jeremy. And I knew something was up because Jeremy is a handsome, right now, dude, handsome devil. And when I first interacted with Jeremy in Nashville, it was at Mayday Brewing in that neck of the woods. I don't even know if that's actually in Nashville, but it's like a off the beaten path place, and we got a bunch of audience members that are there. We're having a party. There's a band, and I run into Jeremy. I go, oh my God, how are you? He's a successful dude, got a wife, got kids, young kids at the time, and I remember him seeing me and being like super emotional. And, hey, Jeremy, and he's like, oh. He's like crying, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I guess Jeremy was going through some shit at the time. I forget why the crying, but I remember Jeremy seeming, and this is what I thought at the time, so bear with me, quite girly. Like, this guy seems like a chick. And then it wasn't long after that Jeremy said, hey, I'm transgender. And I honest to God, didn't quite know what that meant. And I was like, so what is happening here? I don't understand how it works. I just was so not in the know about how, it's just something you didn't talk about. This is probably 10 years ago. Well, as time passed, I learned more, and then I start to figure out what's going on. One day I had a conversation. I go, hey, can I ask Frank questions? Jeremy says, of course. I go, so you want to be a girl? He goes, oh, yeah, I am a woman, but I was born with dude parts. I got like a big dick. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't say that, but I'm trying to make this an interesting story. I go, oh, so you want to be a girl? Goes, yeah. You want to like, oh, yeah, surgery, hormones, the whole deal. I go, does your wife and kids know about this? He says, yeah. I go, well, how do they feel about this? They're fine with it. They want me to actually become a woman. I go, oh, okay, that's pretty unique. You don't hear about that every day. I go, well, why don't you? He goes, I'm scared. I'm afraid. I go, he goes, I'm afraid of what the world will do to me. I go, oh. All right, that's understandable. I get it. Well, you have my utmost support. Fast forward, my daughter tells me she's gay. Oh, my God. Wow, okay. Fast forward, my daughter's dating a person with they, them pronouns. I go, so what's going on there? Well, Ash was born a dude, or born a chick. Now, is not sure what she is. So it's they, them. I go, okay, if you say so. A little bit of time passes. Dude. Definitely a dude, becoming a dude, hormones, surgery, the whole deal. Dude. From this day forward, Dad, dude. I go, all right, sounds good to me. I'm in. I'm all in. Team dude. Now, however, when it comes to transgender swimmer Leah Thomas, average swimmer at best as a dude, becoming a woman, and then swimming with the chicks and beating the shit out of all the chicks collegiately. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. That's not right. Well, easy. What are they supposed to do? What is Leah Thomas supposed to do? I don't know, but I'll turn it on you. What are all the people that are not transgender, that were born chicks, racing with other chicks? What are they supposed to do? You just have a person that was a dude, now a chick, competing and destroys all of the other chicks. That is not equitable. No, that is not right. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. I'm not going to stand for it. No. And so that's where we divide. And I don't give a shit who's talking to me about it. You are not going to convince me otherwise that that's fair for Leah Thomas to compete with the entire field that are all ladies. And Leah Thomas was a dude and is now a lady. You're going to have to be the pioneer in the transgender division. It's up to the Olympic Committee. I don't give a shit if there's only one swimmer. Who gives a fuck? If you really believe in equality, they should have a transgender division, and that would solve all of this. Yeah, but there won't be any other competitors. Tough fucking shit. It's up to them to figure it out. I think you would probably encourage more people who are transgender to do this if you have a this type of competition, you know. But no, I ain't going for that shit. That's a Hall & Oates song. And the reason why this comes up right now is because just the other day, a legal fight, Leah Thomas was in front of the court. And the court has ruled she's out. No way. This is not going to happen. So this is a huge victory when it comes to all of this. And I don't even like saying this is a win for equality. This because you kind of sound like one of those MAGA fuckface kooks, okay, who all they do is just hate on transgender people, you know, who hate on drag queens and say that they're trying to rape kids and all that fucked up shit. When we all know that's not true. That's bullshit. Anyway, 3 judges on the Court of Arbitration for Sport dismissed Thomas's request for arbitration with the World Aquatics governing body. That means Leah Thomas is fucked. Cannot compete in the Olympics. That is fucking great. With that ruling in place, Thomas will be unable to participate in qualifying for the Olympic trials. Under rules established in 2022, the World Aquatics banned transgender women who have been through male puberty from competing in women's races. It also creates. I still think that that's even fucked up, you know. It's just gonna have to have a separate category. I don't care what anybody says. That's instead of taking away, all right, just add to it. Just give them an opportunity to still swim in the Olympics, but just in a completely different category. All right. That's my hard and fast take on that. Looks like some of you were thinking the same thing as me. I love that. Excuse me. Maze and Blue said create a transgender division. David in Hudsonville said exactly. Jeremy is in the chat, and some are like, wait a minute. Is Jeremy the one that's trying to become a chick? No. Different Jeremy. Jeremy adds, imagine if somebody stood up for Caitlin Clark, full Malice at the Palace style. 12-on-12 brawl. Bras go flying. Hair getting pulled. Would be huge for the WNBA. I would like to think that my open-mindedness on transgender individuals has had some impact on the way some of you think. That would make me happy if, after years of listening to me spew wiseness on a daily basis, I actually made some of you think a little more than being a narrow-minded fuck. That would be fantastic. But at the same time, I would not feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable with having people that were born dudes, then become women, then compete with women who were born women. Kenney adds, totally agree. You cannot take away the right for natural-born women in these competitions to have a chance. Created in a new division is the only fair way. Exactly. Yeah, you can't do this whole square peg, round hole for how for how competition is. It just doesn't work. All right. Now, next topic of discussion. All right, how would you feel if you were 24 years old? How do you think people would look at you? How do you think you would feel if you're walking down the street, you're 24 years old, and there's an old lady who's 74 years old, but who's walking down the street, and she says, hey, you're pretty cute. And she's like known as the wealthiest lady in the community. And 24-year-old you, dude. So if Kenny's 24 years old, he's walking down the street. And a 74-year-old lady that he knows in his neighborhood is rich as fuck. She's a multimillionaire worth hundreds of millions of dollars. She goes, hey, I think you're cute. Would you like to eat my muff? And then you knew that you had a chance to get a ton of money if you ate that muff. Would you do it? And then she's like, hey, I want you to be my boyfriend. And we're going to come out of the closet and say that we're dating. You know how weird that would look? That would be like hideous. Well, that's happening right now. And the world is paying attention. This story is fucking bonkers. Bill Belichick, who's not quite 50 years older than this chick, but 48 years older than this chick. 72-year-old Bill Belichick and this 24-year-old babe, Jordan Hudson, are dating. They have come out and said, yeah, we're the hot new couple. I don't even know where to begin with this. How can you possibly... Okay, Belichick recently split with his wife. Wasn't that long ago. Before that became a thing, it was rumored that these two, about 2-3 years ago, were an item. When she was, 21. And she was like a cheerleader for the Patriots or some shit. Maize and Blue says, good for old Bill. His yogurt cannon still works. Unlike you, Easy. Not necessary to take a personal shot. All right. I challenge that. That's fucking sick. If I'm Bill Belichick and I'm having sex with this child who's barely an adult, I'm working very, very hard to keep that from happening. And when the idea is floated about coming out and saying, yeah, we're a couple, you got to shut that down. And say, look, I just like porking you. I don't want to I know I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with you. You're clearly out of my league. I tell you what, how about I just pay you and we have sex? My God. This is rough. And if you're her, okay, she's 24. All right. Her dad is probably like, 50, 52. This would be like if, I don't even like to put myself into the position, if one of my daughters was dating a guy 50 years older. The only person I think who can relate to this most is radio voice Linda. I mean, her situation was even more ridiculous. I think she was 18 years and 1 day old. And she was running with a guy who I think was 88 at the time. It was like Anna Nicole Smith, J. Howard Marshall. Really nasty. If you're that chick's dad, why aren't you beating the fuck out of Bill Belichick? I don't understand how that doesn't happen. She couldn't possibly really love the guy, right? I mean, the obvious is he's rich, so she's just cashing the checks. But what a disgusting world this is. This is fucking terrible. Bill Belichick and a 24-year-old hot chick. Wolverine Bronco says Belichick does have a daughter, too. Ugh. This is wrong on so many levels. Let's see. Who is this? I don't know if that's the guy's dad or the chick's dad. Maybe there's more in this if I just take a peek. I take it back. I don't think she was a cheerleader for the Patriots. But she was a cheerleader. Competitive cheer. Sources close to the situation told TMZ that the two have been romantic for a while, becoming an item, quote unquote, shortly after the ex-New England Patriots head coach called off his longtime relationship with Linda Holliday. According to one of Hudson's former cheerleading teammates, Hudson first met the 72-year-old on a flight from the Boston area bound for Florida back in 2021, and they, quote unquote, bonded over a philosophy project that the student athlete had been working on. We're told they swapped contact info after landing and stayed friendly through the ensuing months, I'll bet. Discussing her school work and the X's and O's of her cheerleading routines. Oh, my God. Sources say soon after Belichick split with Holliday, which took place privately during the 2022 season, these two became more than just friends. Can you imagine fat ass, old man, bitch tits, Bill Belichick on top of you, boning you. Ugh. Sources say the chick quietly was at the games that Belichick was coaching. They just recently decided to go public. Belichick was spotted at a cheerleading competition in March. He was also seen with her on a work trip to Croatia. He's part Croatian. Oh, my God. It's too much. All right. I was going to say one more thing about it. Oh, yeah. If you're an old dude and you're dating a chick who's so young, she takes photos like this to post online, you know, doing silly wacky face with bedazzled phone, might be a little too young for the 72-year-old guy. I don't give a shit how hot she is. This is what would happen. If I'm 72-year-old dude and you have a chick like that who you're supposed to be in a relationship with, the power of the poon to give me the boner is then going to be overridden by the disgusting thought of what I'm doing and what everybody's going to think about me. Thus, it's going to be a neutral boner, which is no boner. So arousal and disgust going to lead to flaccid. That is the formula. Jesus Christ. What kind of sick fuck is able to have sex with a fucking 24-year-old like that? He doesn't think about his daughter when they're doing it? Oh, my God, my daughter's the same age. This is disgusting. That should affect you. That's supposed to make it so that you date chicks your own age. Now, this is wrong. Kenney says Dolly Parton is 77 and rich. Just a thought. Linda Carter is 72. Power of the Poon sounds like an 80s hair metal band or metal album. Wolverine Bronco says, I am torn. Moral dilemma or a dream come true. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Like, let's say Pooh Bear says, easy. Let's say she has terminal illness and she kicks the bucket and I'm alone. And she says, this is what I want you to do, Easy. Take some money from the insurance policy and go to one of the brothels in Vegas and go have some sex. All right, honey, I will. So she croaks. We throw her in the ground. That's the end of it. Whenever I get over it, I go over to the brothel and I walk in. And you know how they all line up? Hey, we got a new customer. Pick which girl you want to go have sex with. I know that only from the show Cat House, by the way, so fuck you. I'll be like, okay, do you have any old women? Like, I would look at the madam, the one who's who is in charge of all the book work and all that shit. The madam at the brothel, legal brothel. Yeah, I think that I would say I'm gonna need somebody who's just way older. All these women, no, they don't interest me in any way. I need someone who is at least 47, and even that is a struggle for me. I need some age here. Do you think that they would ever? Is there such a thing as a brothel? It's just all MILFs and GILFs for people like me. I would be such an absolute mess if there's all these young chicks. Like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I gotta go. Kenny says, my quote would, I'm guessing this is my quote, give me the old busted model, not the new hotness. Wolverine Broncos says Hugh Hefner normalized this a long time ago. God bless Hef. Yeah, you're kind of a pervert. You know that? You really are. Oh, I'm just happy that I got my wife. You see, she's older than I am. Like many years. She's a couple decades older than I am, Pooh Bear. She always hates when I say that. She's 4 years older than I am. Well, maybe even less than that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Not like I can have sex anyway. I'm such a piece of shit loser. She's going to leave me. She's going to leave me. All right. Thank you to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Rates are getting set to fall. When you're ready to dive into your mortgage, reach out to Mario from anywhere in the U.S. 231-332-6505. Fun in West Michigan. TC Paintball. Online at tcpaintballgr.com. Book an event today. Outdoor play during the warm months, spring, summer, fall, sometimes winter, at TC Paintball. tcpaintballgr.com. Reach out to them and get started today with a paintball adventure for you, kids in the neighborhood, workplace team building, whatever it may be. Bachelor party, do it at TC Paintball. Racing this weekend at Berlin, my God. BerlinRaceway.com. Get your tickets. They are $14 a pop when you buy online. Good group of folks over there at Berlin Raceway. Parking free, 15 and under free. 12 by 18 coolers are good. Bring in all your snacks. Bring your soft drinks. No booze, no glass at Berlin. Jennison Pool and Spa Depot in Jennison, Michigan. So if you're in West Michigan, Jennison, Chicago Drive, it's like the main drag. When you're headed on the eastbound side, that's the side they are on. In Jennison, blue storefront, can't miss it. Blue like aqua blue water. Jennison Pool and Spa Depot for all of your pool supplies. Reach out to them at 616-457-0500. You have any problems with your pool filter, whatever. Can't get it it's totally cloudy. You want to clean it up. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. They'll help you out. 616-457-0500. Love them so much. Finally, King's Room Barbershop. July 8th to the 13th. That is the 50-year anniversary week. 50 years ago that week, they opened. So what they're doing at all three locations, Northland Drive, Caledonia, 821 36th Street, Wyoming, you get your haircut, you spin the wheel. You spin the wheel, and it's got, whatever price it is, that's how much you pay for the haircut. Maximum $19 for a haircut. It might be that. But it could land on the price that you'd pay for a haircut in 74. Plus, ton of free stuff to give away. You could win T-shirts, you could win koozies, whatever, all that typical stuff. And everybody who gets a haircut during that week, you get you're in the drawing for the gigantic TV, flat screen TV that they're giving away. Thank you to King's Room Barbershop. Get your haircut at King's Room Barbershop, online at kingsroom.net. Mention your old pal, EZ. Okay, who's your asshole of the day today? Kenny will probably pick the lady in the house in Tennessee, because he thinks she blew the place up. Can you imagine if he's actually right? And he's basing it on the fact that she wasn't there. He says, I'll hold off. I'm suspicious, though. Well, maybe they are, too. You might be right, Kenny. Wolverine Bronco says, what about Al Pacino? He's having a kid with a kid. Yes. Gross. Horrible. Everybody knows what the asshole of the day is. They can see me writing it out. I have actually, if I had any respect for Bill Belichick, and I had no reason to respect him or not respect him, I have no feelings. I don't respect people that do this. I think it's fucking sick. Bill Belichick is the asshole of the day. That's fucking wrong. I think he's the asshole of the day. And anybody who goes, oh yeah, man, that's right, get it. Yeah, that's right. You got to go get good for him. No, not good for him. That's fucking sick, asshole. So if anybody says, oh, yeah, man, I wish I was him. Oh, yeah, it's fucking great, yeah. Yeah, fuck off, you fucking pig. As usual, you've been an outstanding audience. I appreciate you so much. Until next time, talk to you down the road, folks. Have a